Hi, this video is about managing your files on various devices. Now, I must be one of the most disorganized people ever, and I've got too much equipment as well. So this is a recipe for disaster, really. So I've got my Windows PC, and then I've got lots of Picos and Pico Ws and a Cosmic Unicorn. I've got Arduino Uno R3s, R4s, an Uno Q, a Nano, which I've never actually used. I've got a couple of Nesso N1s. On the Raspberry Pi front here, I've got more or less every flavour of Raspberry Pi that you can get. I don't have a 500 and I don't have a 02, but apart from that, I'm over Raspberry Pi. We've got two laptops, one 64-bit and one 32-bit. We've each got an iPad, we've each got an iPhone. I've got an Android tablet that I got free from somewhere, and I've got various ESP32 things that came in a big box, sold by weight. Not played with them. And then I've got my Kindle that stopped working last week. Now, it's very difficult for me. Maybe people who are more organized can keep track of things, but I can't keep track of everything. The good thing about the Picos and the Cosmic Unicorn and the Arduino Uno R3s, R4s, Nano and Nesso N1s is that you can do all your development on your Windows PC or Mac or whatever you're doing it on, and that's where you store your programs. So unless you try really hard, you don't lose anything. Well, I have, but that's me. But with the Raspberry Pis, of course, with everything being stored on your micro SD card, you can do all sorts of things. I mean, I've never had a corrupt card, but I overwrite them. I back them up to a USB stick, which I lose. I back them up on my PC, the image, and forget what I called it. So it's awful. And I just wanted a way to be able to keep track of everything. Oh, and this really came about because of the Uno Q not acting like a normal Uno, so you're developing on the dreaded App Lab and storing things on the Q. So I thought there has to be a way around it, and there is. Now I found a thing called I know, of course, you can keep backing up. You can use rsync from a Raspberry Pi to back stuff up and everything, but you have to remember to do it. So what I really wanted was something that did it for you without you having to ask, and I found a thing called Syncthing. And what it would do is, look at the top of this first. Here I've got 3 devices, and Syncthing will synchronize them. So you have on computer A, you've got a folder with those files in, and then you can synchronize it with computer B, and anything, if you change file 1 there, it will change file 1 there. If you delete it, it will delete it there. If you and vice versa, if you do something to file 3, it will change file 3, and if you add a file, it will do it as well. And it isn't just this is peer-to-peer. It isn't just that you can have 2, you can have lots. So you can link A to C and B to C, but it gets a bit out of hand because, say, if you had 10, you'd be linking A to 9 others, B to 9 others. Well, you've already linked with A, but you get my drift. So my way of hopefully doing it is that here I have my PC, and I've got a folder there, and I link it with A and with B and with C, so all the files will remain synchronized. And you don't even have to use the same folder. That folder there could be linked to that one, and then you could have another folder that's linked to that one, and really you can do what you want with it. So I will just show you what it says about Syncthing, and then I will demonstrate it, and hopefully you get the idea. So Syncthing, all the data is stored on your computer or on your computers, so it doesn't you aren't storing it in the cloud or anything, and you aren't incurring charges if you if you've got too much up there. So it's private. It's open protocol, open source, open development, and open discourse. Not that I discourse much. And so you know exactly what's going on. If the data is being synchronized between two devices, it's encrypted. So if you're doing it to the cloud, say, all anyone can find out is your IP address, that if they want to have a look, and you link them explicitly. So if you say, right, A wants to link to B, B has to say, oh yes, I accept the link. So it's pretty good. You can do it over your local network, which is how I use it, or you can do it over the internet. And what else does it say? You can synchronize different folders to different machines. You can synchronize the same folder to all your machines. It works on Mac, Windows, Linux, Android, everything. The only thing you need to fiddle with it like mad, and I haven't done it yet, to get it to work on iOS. Go away on iOS, and you don't use IP addresses. It just gives everything an ID, and they have relays supplied, so it will just take care of itself. So I think really I need to show you what it does. Now, before I did anything, I thought I'd better check to see whether there was a possibility of this working on my Uno Q. So I'll just show you what I did. Get into App Lab. There, connect to my Uno Q. And I went into Shell, and I did apt search Syncthing, because I thought if it doesn't find anything, it would look unlikely that it would work. So I'll go like that. Right, it's found lots, therefore hopefully I'll be able to get it to work. Right, so far I've only got Syncthing installed on two devices, my PC and my Raspberry Pi 3. So I will just start running it, and it comes up with all that stuff, and then it comes up with this page, which is local:8384. That's where it connects to, and it says that I've got a share directory, and it's linked to an RP3, but it isn't connected at the moment because I haven't turned it on. So if I turn it on, hopefully something will work, and then I'll go into I'm connecting with Raspberry Pi Connect. So we'll go in there, and there are the things that I've got I've got on my Raspberry Pi Connect account, my 3, my 0, my 400 and my 4, so it doesn't seem to be ready yet. Sometimes you have to go in and out. Yeah, there you go. It says connect via, so I go connect via, and I'm going in via screen sharing. And of course everything will be a bit slow because the internet's slow, very, very slow. Right, no, I haven't changed the password. So go into internet and start Syncthing, and it looks as if nothing's happened because you have to go in again and go to Syncthing Web UI. I said it was slow. This isn't Syncthing's fault, it's right. I don't want a password for a new keyring, thank you very much, and I don't want to restore. And there we go. That page looks very similar to the one on my PC. It's connecting, it's linking working directory. If I make that a bit longer, there, it's linking to the Windows PC and it's up to date. So if I go on to files, there's working directory and there's test 1. So if I have a look to see what's in test 1, there, I did that earlier. It just says this line was added by my Raspberry Pi and this line was added by my PC. So if I close that and I go into File Manager on my PC, there, this is, you don't have to call your two directories the same. This one on my PC is called Share Dir, and on my Raspberry Pi 3 it's called Working Directory, because my plan is that on every Raspberry Pi I'll have something called Working Directory, and it will link, it will sync to, it will be Share Dir RP3, Share Dir RP0, etc. So if we go into this test, if I add something, this line was added during demo. Yikes. Right, and I'll save that. Whoops, I'll try to save that. I'll save that. I'll just minimize that. Oh, I minimized that. I've got too many jolly old things working. And I'll go on to here, and there's the shared directory, and it will tell you a bit about it. And it says it's got one file in it, no directories in it, and it says that the Raspberry Pi 3 is up to date. And if I go onto the Raspberry Pi 3, which is this one, and I go on to, that's a Syncthing thing, it says it's up to date. I don't know whether I need to rescan it because my internet's very slow. So if we go back into here, back into this file, there, it works like anything. And that's just the basic thing, and I can add to this file, and it will go over to the PC. I could do something like create another file. Helps if I get into the if I go into working directory, I can just go echo another message, and I'll just pipe that into test2.txt. Will that work? dir does work. Normally it's ls. Then I'll go cat test2. There. So I've created another file, and I will look at minimize that. I'll minimize that. Working directory. If I click on that, there it says now it's got global state. I've got 2 files. So I will go back onto my PC, and it says I've got 2 files. So back in that directory, it's got test2. Yeah. So that just shows that you don't have to copy things over. It will just sync everything by itself. And there are lots of other things that you can do. I'll get rid of that. Share directory, pause all. You can add another. I'll get rid of that. Actions is what you can do, and you can show the ID of your thing, and you can copy that when you're wanting to link. And settings, just a quick thing of what you can do. General, that isn't very interesting at all. GUI, that's where the GUI comes. Connections, right, I've just got it on local discovery, which is using my LAN, but you can, as a default, it comes, all these are set on, so that means you can do things over the internet. I'm only doing it on my local network, but unfortunately on my Raspberry Pi I didn't set that, so I think that's why it's taking a long time. Then we've got ignored devices and ignored folders. I have none of those, so I'll just close those. So if we go into the share directory, edit, this is specific to this directory, and you can set the label and the ID and everything. And then sharing, it says currently shared with devices. I've only got an RP3, but if I had lots more, I could just tick or untick to share that folder with someone else. And file versioning is interesting. You can choose, at the moment, no file versioning. If you mess up your file, it's gone. You can have trash can versioning. Does it actually tell you? Oh yes, it does tell you. That means you're just storing one version in your trash can. Whoops, didn't mean to do that, did I? Or you can have simple file versioning, which just says keep however many versions on this machine. So and how long, naught means you don't clean it out, but If you set that to a number of days, it will clean out after that number of days. And the version path, the default is that, but you can set it to somewhere else. That's about it. But that is on this machine, which is the Windows one. Yes, this is on the Windows one. So you can have file versioning, so you keep backups on the Windows and you don't keep backups on the Raspberry Pi, or vice versa. So it's all jolly good. Ignore patterns. If you're kind of doing a lot of stuff and you have temp files and everything, you could go, if you go // temp, for example, that means that it won't sync files that are in any directories within that share directory, and anything that has temp. Did I need a dot? I might have needed a dot there, I don't know. So it would ignore all temp files and sync everything else, and that is advanced. Yes. Watch for changes. That is the only thing that I've played with, really. You can have it send and receive, or you can have send only, receive only. So when you start, it's best having it send and receive, because you don't know, well, I don't know what on earth is going on. So that is just a very quick demonstration that Syncthing does actually work. And next I will show how you could create a new install Syncthing on, I don't know what I'll do it on. I might try with an Uno Q, or I might try with Raspberry Pi, I'm not sure yet. Just a couple of things before I show how you can add Syncthing to a device, or is it add a device to Syncthing, or whatever. If you've got a folder that's been synced between two devices and you make a change on one of them, but the other one isn't available, it isn't turned on, it isn't running Syncthing, whatever, it won't lose the changes. It will just wait until it is, is turned on again, is available on the same network, etc., whatever, and then it will sync files, which is quite good. Now I just want to show how I use Syncthing, and I've got a very dodgy picture. Right, here we go. This is my Windows, a picture of my Windows PC, and on my Windows PC I have my Arduino Uno Q master files and my Raspberry Pi master files there. And I've also got a common share directory, because I thought it'd be quite good to have just a directory that I share on all of my devices, just in case, like listing IP addresses of things and God knows what. You wouldn't want to put much in there, because you don't want to blow all your storage of your Raspberry Pi or Pi Zero or whatever. And then there's another directory here, which is called a device share directory, and you'd have one called RP3 share directory, or RP0 share directory, or Arduino Q share directory. And what it does is, on each device you have a folder, I keep changing folder to directory, called common directory, and one called working directory, and you sync the common share directory with that one, and you sync the device share on that one. And when you want to do something, say you think, oh right, I want to play around with my Raspberry Pi, and I know I've got a program there. You'll find the program, you'll copy it over to the device share directory, and it will appear on whichever device it's linked to, which is quite good. And then on your RP3, in my case, I can play around with it, I can run it, I can edit it, I can save it as something else, and when I've finished I can say, all right, I don't need that anymore, I will delete it. So if I delete it from there, it gets deleted from there. Or if I think, yeah, I want to keep that, so I would go onto my PC and I could either move it back to the master copy with its original name, or if I've renamed it, I can move it back so there's another program there. So that's what I do. So I'll just show you what that looks like. I have Syncthing running on my PC. So as I said, I've got a common share directory which has one file in, and the RP3 directory which doesn't have anything in at all. So we'll go on to the Pi. Here we go. I'll move that up a bit. As I said, it's got the common file directory with one file in it, and if we look at it here, common, that important.txt. Right, this file contains info that I need on every device. And then if I look at my working directory, nothing in there. Well, the .st folder, which is used by Syncthing itself. And if we look at the RP3 share directory, nothing in there. So what I was doing was going back to the PC. I've got, that is my RP3 share directory. So what I need to do is copy one of these programs in. These are actually Pico programs, but I don't care. And I can just drag and drop, I think. That's D, that's C. Or I can drag and drop and it will not delete it because that's on my C drive and that's on my D drive. So there it is. I've put that there, and we'll see what happens. On the, it now says it's got one file on the Syncthing on the Windows, and if we look on the other one, it says it's got one file. I will look in the working directory. There it is. Did I click or just double click? Come on, open, open. Can you open? Ah, there we go. There's my program from about 87 years ago. And so that shows that you can do it. And as I said, you can play around with it, you can do anything. I mean, that's been opened in, that's Thonny. Yeah, it got automatically opened by Thonny. So you can do what you want, and then when you've finished, you can delete it, you can move it back to where it came from, or you can add it to your master file. So I just thought that would be interesting. And now we are going on to how to create, how to put Syncthing on a device. So now I'm going to attempt to install Syncthing on my Raspberry Pi 4. I've got my Raspberry Pi 4 running, and I'll go into it using VNC, and it's that one. Right, no, I haven't changed the password, and I've got over here a list of the things I need to type in to do it, hopefully. Now if I go up here and into internet, you can see I don't have Syncthing. So I'll go into terminal, there, and I will copy, paste. That won't take long because I only did it yesterday. Right, next instruction is to install whatever that does. I have no idea, but with all these things you don't really need to know, do you? Paste. Don't know how long that will take. Doubt it would take that long. Oh no, it didn't take that long. It wasn't very big. Right, what now? Add the Syncthing repository key. Now, I don't really understand that. And curl is copy from URL from there, and then you pipe it to I don't know what, and then you pipe it to sudo t that place. So I should think what that does is it adds the Syncthing repository key. We will see. Paste. Oh, that didn't take long. Then add the repository. What now? Oh, it wants to do an apt update again. I assume that's necessary. But who knows? Might have done something, might not have. Then what else? Then we install Syncthing. Copy. Paste. No, not paste like that. Paste like that. Did not like that. It's because I pressed Control C. Right, paste. That would do it. Right, this is obviously taking a bit longer. I'm up to 10%. I haven't done this on this. I've only installed Syncthing on my PC and my Raspberry Pi 3, so maybe it's a bit silly to do it in a live demo. No, it isn't a live demo because I'm not showing it live, but you know what I mean. I could pause it, but it's about halfway there. Come on, come on. Now if I knew how to go whizzy through when making a video on YouTube, I'd do it, but I don't. Right, 3/4 of the way there. How are we going? Right, seems to have done something. What do I do next? Then, to start Syncthing, you can either go onto the menu or type it in the command line. So if we go up here, Internet, look, we've got Start and the Syncthing Web UI, but we could do it the other way first, just to see if it works, because I've never done it like this before. You just go Syncthing in the terminal. Fingers crossed, never tried it before. It's doing something. It's definitely doing something. And then in my instructions I put launch the web interface, but it's actually done it itself, which is quite handy. So that is it. So here we go. We've got Syncthing running on my it does say it is called RPi 400, but that's because I've used the same micro SD card. Right, I don't want to do anonymous usage. I don't want to set a password. Right, so everything appears to be running. So I've got running on my PC Syncthing, so we'll see what happens here. So we'll go on to that. Let's try add remote device. The device ID to enter here can be found in actions, show ID, blah blah. Right, yeah, okay, we'll go back to there, onto there. Actions, show ID, that's good. Copy back to, you can tell I haven't done this before, back to that, paste it in, device name, I'll call that RP, I call it 400 or 4, no, it doesn't really matter, I'll call it 4, not 54, RP4, I think that will work. Save. Or I should have gone on to sharing, shouldn't I? Stupid woman. Don't know if I can get into that. Edit. This is what I should have done. Right, instead of going save, I should have gone on to sharing. And it says introducer. I don't think I want introducer. Select additional files to share with this device. Common share directory. Auto accept. I'm not going to go auto accept. Right, we'll see what that happens. What happens with that. We'll try rescan all on there. Will that do anything? Not a lot. So go back onto this one, close that, go on to remote devices, recent changes, nothing, or we'll go OK for that. Right, default folder. Now nothing is really happening yet. So if I go back onto the PC, if I add a folder, and this wants to be squiggly. I need to turn on the light actually. Squiggly. RP4 share directory like that. Right, then I'll just go, I can't remember what I called it, I just called it RP4 share, and there, folder label, and I'll just call it rp4 share directory. Okay, then I'll go sharing, and I'll share it with my rp4. I'm going to ignore all of those, so there we go. So we've got rp4, rp3, common share directory. What I'm going to do, I'm on a different network, so maybe that is what is slowing it down. I'll connect to my main network, see if anything happens. Nothing's happening at the moment. So back to that. Folders default. Rescan all. Aha! And at last it says new device. Do you want to add device? Yes, I jolly well do. And add device. Device name. Yeah, that will do. Sharing. What does sharing do? Introducer, auto accept, additional. I just save that. Right. It now says the desktop wants to share that one. Yup. A folder path. That was LP. So I think I called that working directory. Always helps to have a slash. Look. Don't know why it wasn't typing then. I can't spell. Right. Directory. Okay. Folder ID is that. Folder label. I'm just going to call that working directory. Now, hopefully that will work. Right, it wants to share the folder common share directory, so I'll add folder path. I can't remember what I called it. I might just paper and say what I said. Oh, I think I called it common directory. Doesn't really matter, but it always helps if they're the same. So folder ID is common share, and I'll just call that common directory. Now, sharing. Everything seems okay there. Okie dokie. So this is on here. So common directory, do I have anything in there? It says I've got one file, which is handy, so we'll have a look at it and see whether I can look at it. Go into there, important, no, I don't want to restore it. Right, this file contains info that I need on every device. Great, wonderful. So that's working, and obviously I don't have anything in my my working directory because I haven't put anything in it, and I don't like default directory, so I will edit that and I'll remove it. Yes. Right, so that will work wonderfully. So that was all about installing Syncthing on a Linux device, kind of like Raspberry Pi, etc. For Windows and Mac, it's a lot easier. This is a syncthing.net page. You go on to downloads. There we go. They're the installers for Windows. That's one I used for mine, and I just had to download it, run it, and it set up Syncthing, and then I just used the local host 8384 to do everything as I showed you before. And I assume with Mac OS it'll be exactly the same thing, just as easy, but I don't have one, so I can't show anything. So then I thought, right, last thing, well, I haven't done my Android yet. Last thing is to install it on my excuse me, just dying. Install it on my Uno Q. So I went into the terminal on my Uno Q, and I looked at my crib notes, and I did all of that. Everything worked wonderfully. I thought, okay, then it was just this one step to launch the web interface. Now obviously I couldn't click on the Raspberry Pi menu internet thingy, so I had to go to that localhost :8384. Unfortunately, I'm running my Uno Q on AppLab on my PC, so I'm just plugging in via USB connector to my PC. So if I go onto that page, it shows the Syncthing page for my PC, and I thought, that isn't so handy. It hasn't happened with when I've done it for my Pi 3 and my Pi 4, because if you connect via VNC or Raspberry Pi Connect, you don't run into that problem. So I thought, I might have to try and mend that somehow. So this is my Syncthing control page, whatever you call it, for my PC, and you can see that it can find my Raspberry Pi 4, my Raspberry Pi 3, and I forgot to rename it. So that is my QAB14 thingy, which is my Uno Q. But you can find it, and it can, here's my, I've set up an Uno Q share directory, and I've shared it with my Uno Q. But the Uno, until I can get onto the configuration page, you know, like the version of this on my Q, it can't accept the share. And equally, it can't do it with the, so it's a common share and the other one. So I can't get onto it. So I thought, I know what I'll try. So I went onto settings. This is still the laptop, not laptop, the PC, my Windows PC, and I went onto the GUI, and I changed the GUI listen address to, as opposed to being localhost 8384, I changed it to 18384, and it doesn't mind at all. Everything works wonderfully. Tried that and it didn't work, and the problem is that Syncthing, because it wants to be very secure, it won't let another device, I mean, this is the control page, whatever you call it, for Windows, and I'm running on Windows, but it won't, unless you go in via something like VNC or Raspberry Pi Connect, it won't let you access this page on any other device, because that would be a bit of a security problem. So the only thing that I can do about this is to find a powered hub, plug my Uno Q in with a monitor and a mouse and a keyboard, and set it up. So I go onto this page for the Q, and it will come up and say, hello, someone's trying to share something with you, and you accept it, and you accept the other one. No, in fact it says someone's trying to link to this device, and then it will come up with those to that directory and that directory that it wants to link. And then you needn't worry about it, because once you've done that, you don't need to do anything on Syncthing. It will just take care of itself. All I'm doing is wanting to have the directories to share, so I can move files around, go away. So I can move files around, go away. Files around. So I then don't have to connect to that web page, so I can go back to using my Uno Q on AppLab on my PC, because I don't have room for two monitors and I don't have room for keyboards and God knows what. So I've ended on failure, but I do know how to solve it in the future.